have once again made it through the day and reached the evening hours. These are the hours when shadow mixes with light. It's time to rock the night away with your host, Alice Cooper.
Hey there, it's Alice Cooper here with you on Tuesday, June 28th. You made it to day 2 of the week. That's pretty good for you. It's 2 days in a row. And I'm still here in Australia. And it's beautiful. It's nice, and everybody's having a great time. I had another big show last night in Brisbane, which is a great city. Really a fun city. It's like Miami. The audience just loves it when Paris Hilton gets her neck ripped out by her little puppy. It's just something I throw in at the end of the show to let them know that I'm current and that I do read the tabloids. Anyway, I'll check my email in just a few minutes, and if it's yours, you can tell your friends. And you can say, I'm such a big deal. Alice read my email. But first, it's George Thorogood, who is actually a better guitar player than I thought. I was just actually listening to his version of 2 whiskey, 2 scotch, 2 beers. And the guitar on that is unbelievable. It's really, really very good. Bad to the bone, George Thorogood.
Okay, we get email here even from Fargo. Yes, Alice, last night you commented that goths rarely grow up to be vampires. At the same time, you mentioned that many of them become lawyers. This seems to be contradictory, as most lawyers are blood-sucking monsters. What an astute thing to think about, because you're probably true about that. Nobody's made a movie yet about lawyers being vampires. You know, they always call them bloodsuckers. But wouldn't it be great if there was, like, lawyers that really were vampires? And when they say, you know, oh, those guys are bloodsuckers, and they actually were bloodsuckers. See, that's why I get paid the big money, because I come up with movies. These are the kind of movies that I rent. So I should make like a living writing hundreds of these movies.
Here's some news from England. Noel Gallagher has defended Oasis's decision not to take part in the Live 8 event this weekend, and saying they're not playing unless Alice Cooper's playing. No, they didn't say that at all. He said that his band had already arranged a concert on July 2nd when Bob Geldof announced his plans. Now, these are the same guys that cancel a concert because the two brothers are beating the hell out of each other and hitting each other with staplers backstage because one of them ate the other guy's orange. But they won't cancel a show to do this big show. Although Noel has stated that he dislikes the general feeling in the UK that rock stars should be doing something to help out. Yeah, I agree. Why help people? I mean, why would you want to help people? I mean, they don't buy your records, and they don't go to your concerts. They don't pat you on the back and buy you a beer in the pub. So why would you want to help them? Come on. What a great attitude. Well, if you have something important that you want to ask me, or if you think Oasis are the most important band in history, what's wrong with you? Back tonight with Alice Cooper, the best alternative to overdosing on steroids and bashing your head into the wall. Even though that is fun. Gotta love it. So we're already a week into summer, and it's heating up around the world. I'm sure many of you are planning great vacations in the next couple of months, and hopefully you're planning it around my life, because that makes so much more sense to me. I think you should be thinking, what is Alice doing? Maybe my life should revolve around his, like the planets revolve around the sun. And that would be so smart for you. So in honor of summer, here's a song from Joe Satriani that's somehow appropriate. Summer song.
Hi, this is Ozzy Osbourne. Rock is here on Virgin Radio Classic Rock.
That was Def Leppard with Pour Some Sugar on Me. Even from Australia, I find the time to make Becky happy. For my new listeners out there, Becky is our official Def Leppard expert from Phoenix. She has devoted her life to Def Leppard and my radio show, and she's just sick enough that we love her around here. Anyway, don't forget you can email me at alicecoopernights@yahoo.com if you have a comment or a question for me, or if you want to have a trivia contest with Becky all about Def Leppard. You'll lose. You know, think about this. For every band, there's a Becky. There's somebody whose whole life revolves around that band. And they're usually very sick people. Don't forget the website, Nights with Alice Cooper. I forgot it because I hate this website so much. .com, and I'll be back with more Music Plus, This Day in Rock, after this short, forgetful little break. This Day in Rock, 36 years ago today, June 28, 1969, Crosby, Stills, and Nash released their first album and decide to tour once they find another guitarist. Atlantic Records president Ahmet Ertegun suggests Neil Young. He originally thought, what about Yngwie Malmsteen? And then he went, no, I don't think Yngwie can play country, he would play more metal. That'd be an interesting combination. But they decided, no, Neil Young is even better. And the rest is history. Hey, it's Tuesday night, and you're listening to the only man on the radio who gives you exactly what you want, Alice Cooper. I'm sure many of you would like to hear me start giving stuff away on the radio show, like concert tickets, autographed CDs, my dirty underwear. All the stuff you've wanted in your whole life. I'll take the 18th caller. Hey, who can ever answer this question? I just don't do that. I just can't do that. I am going to start giving away things, but it's not going to be that kind of stuff. I might give you like an ice pick from Sharon Stone. And that's a great thing to have. But you'll have to start listening closer to my radio show for opportunities to win stuff. But it's going to be really odd stuff. It's going to be like, an old package of Percocet from Ozzy, that he used, and just the package is left. I'll give away an ingrown toenail from Dennis DeYoung. Anyway, I got some trivia coming up in just a few on Led Zeppelin. I'll give you some from Robert Plant. Robert Plant's hotel iron that he irons his face on to get rid of all the wrinkles. But first, Led Zeppelin trivia. Why was Jimmy Page accused of being a member of the occult? Answer, he's fascinated with Aleister Crowley. Who is Aleister Crowley? He was sort of the head of all the occult British. He was, he thought he was the Antichrist and all this, where actually he was just anti-something. I don't know what he was, anti-bath. Jimmy Page financed an occult bookstore in London called Equinox in the 70s. Now, do you think Jimmy Page has seen every Harry Potter movie? I guarantee he has. There's a little Harry Potter in every British rock star trying to get out. He also bought the occult legend Aleister Crowley's haunted house on the shores of Loch Ness in Scotland. I'm sure it's haunted, and I'm sure Nessie comes there every Sunday for brunch. Page collected a lot of Crowley memorabilia, too. He's obviously some sort of devil guy. No, probably not at all. He just figured, I'm a rock star, and I got tons of money. So let me see, what can I buy? I've already bought everything. Oh, I'll buy that. Yeah, Aleister Crowley's haunted house. Ooh, it'll be a fun party. Okay, so how many people actually believe in Loch Ness Monster? Pretty odd. It really is odd because I've seen pictures. There's something out there. I don't know what it is. I can't believe that nobody has been able to. If it's there, it's like 900 years old because everybody's seen it for the last 200 years. Or either that or it's got a lot of kids. Okay, am I rambling? Yes, I am. And Aleister Crowley is somehow clouding my mind. And he's haunting our Pro Tools right now, too. He keeps making it stop and start and stop and start. So I'm going to get off this whole Crowley thing. Even though we share the same initials, AC. Aleister Crowley, Alice Cooper. How bizarre is that? Heartbreaker, Led Zeppelin. That was Heartbreaker by Led Zeppelin. Before the song, I was talking about Jimmy Page's fascination with the occult. Of course, a lot of us rock stars get a bad rap in the press with lots of rumors flying around that we were all into black magic and stuff like that. Actually, I'm into black licorice, which is much more easy to get. Now, black magic, I don't mess around with that. I'm sure, and I do believe in the validity of it because I think it's there. It's biblical. I mean, just because I wear all black makeup and I have a snake wrapped around my neck and I'm chopping up baby dolls does not mean I'm into the occult. It means that I am hurt. I am psychologically in trouble. It means that I'm sick, but not into the occult. Some psychiatrist will figure me out someday, and it'll be a big book. It means I have a sense of humor. Don't you understand that? And the whole baby thing, I have no problem with babies. It's dolls that I don't like. If the New York dolls were up there, I'd be chopping them up. Well, if you have a comment or question for me, or if you're sacrificing a goat right now in your kitchen, well, stop. Go to your nice little Presbyterian church on Sunday and maybe, don't take the goat there because they don't like that. Alice Cooper here, going global on a Tuesday night. I'm here in Brisbane, Australia tonight, even though people are hearing me in England, Canada, the United States. Isn't it amazing? These Japanese, how they figured this stuff out. You could talk in this mic and you go all over the world, and still people get insulted. Somehow I can smell you from here. I can almost smell you. Yeah, you. Yeah, that guy right there from Manchester. You stink. Anyway, let's get back to that music you love so much. Here's a band that I love featuring the extremely talented and underrated Mark Knopfler. on guitar in Dire Straits, Sultans of Swing. Well, that was Alice Cooper with Poison, one of my 80s songs that gets requested all the time, especially if you're a stripper in training. That's a good song to practice the pole dance to. I found out that that is the #1 stripper song. Now, I wouldn't know. I had to go to Chuck for that one. Not that Chuck would ever go to a strip bar in every single city. And he seems to report back to me that, yes, many strippers finish their show with poison. I'm too good for that. So I have to go to a lower source like Chuck. All right. Now, my wife has a theory also. If there's a movie that involves detectives and a murder, there will be a pole dance in it. And she's absolutely right. Almost every movie you see that has something to do with a gritty sort of like detectives trying to find a drug dealer or something, there will be a pole dance somewhere in that movie. It's a very astute thing to think about. Well, if you care, or if you're pole dancing in your car right now, email me at AliceCooperNights@yahoo.com. My band tried to get me to put a pole on stage. They said, put a pole up there. Some girl might jump up out of the audience and do a pole dance. Unfortunately, she weighed about 380 and no teeth.
Okay, we get emails here. I wanted to contact you ever since your show began playing here in Wichita on KTHR 107.3. I lived in Tombstone, Arizona for a couple of years, and a friend of mine and I would travel to Phoenix to see his uncle. I hope this has a happy ending. The first time I visited Lon, I learned an interesting piece of trivia. Lon owns a couch he is so proud of because he claims it once was owned by Alice Cooper or his mother. I can't remember which. It made me feel that somehow I vicariously knew you because I was sitting on the same couch you had once possibly sat on. Thought you'd get a laugh out of it. Keep up the good work. Dylan Lamb. I have no idea what you're talking about, except for the fact that very possibly, we go through furniture like we go through T-shirts around here. It could have been my mom's couch, could have been my couch. If you look under the couch and there's a lot of gum stuck to the bottom, it might have been mine. Or if you check inside and there's millions of dollars that fell down, inside the cushions, it's probably my couch. Why don't we do it in the road?
I'm Alice Cooper, and you're tuned into my nightly nightmare. I'm broadcasting to you from Brisbane, Australia tonight, or Brisbane, where I played a show to thousands of adoring dolphins who are all out there in the water. No, lots of fans here. I love the Australians because they really appreciate my psychotic sense of humor. You, on the other hand, always laugh at the wrong time when I make a joke. So get with it. Anyway, Cooper's Covers is up in a few, but first let's start off the hour with a song by The Doors that still rings true to these days. And it's all about you. People are strange.
People are strange. The original home of classic rock. Virgin Radio Classic Rock.
Okay, again, I'm Alice Cooper, and you're back on the only show on the radio that will make you smarter and more attractive. And believe me, you need as much help as possible, especially you. Well, why don't we get back to the music? Everybody takes everything so personally. They're sitting there going, he means me. I know he means me. He got a big zit on my nose. I know it's me. And that was Bad Company with Rocksteady. At least he didn't use the word fantasy in that song. As I've told you before, my wife said she'd leave me if I ever wrote a song with the word fantasy in it. And I don't think she's joking. I can do anything else, but I can't do that. By the way, speaking of Angela Lansbury, being in Australia, they have limited TV here. Find myself watching Murder, She Wrote every day now, to the point where I'm actually getting into it. Every once in a while I go, oh, Bert Convy is going to be the special guest today. Bert Convy? That makes my morning? Okay, that's a bad thing. Anyways, my mom watches Murder, She Wrote, Angela Lansbury, like clockwork. It's on every time I walk in the house. Shh, don't talk to me right now. Angela Lansbury, whatever her name, Martha Fletcher, whatever her name is solving the case. So I got Angela Lansbury to send her a picture, and it says, Dear Ella, I need help on this case. Signed, Angela. Isn't that cool? I am such a cool son. It's unbelievable. Well, I got to take a break so I can get back and kick myself in the head. But if you have something remotely interesting to say, or if you're rocking steady right now in some sort of rock and roll fantasy. Send me an email at alicecoopernights@yahoo.com. I've got my fun and freaky facts coming up. You know, Angela Lansbury, when she was young, was hot. When she was in her 20s, she was hot. Freaky facts. Well, even though hockey didn't happen this year, tonight's fun and freaky facts are all about hockey. Here we go. The NHL was founded in 1917 and consisted of 30 teams. The first player to wear protective headgear was George Owen of the Boston Bruins in 1928. He was the only smart guy out there. The speed of a puck hit by the best shooter travels at slightly more than 100 miles per hour. On a relatively long-distance shot, 60 feet away from the goal, the goaltender will have 0.45 seconds to react. In 1945, Frank Zamboni designed a machine to quickly resurface the ice, and the machine is called the Frank. And it's a big privilege, I guess, to ride the Zamboni during one of the periods. I never thought it looked like any fun, but people are out there going, hey, look at me, I'm on the Zamboni, I'm so smart. And finally tonight, Gene Simmons has brilliantly marketed a Kiss hockey puck. Because when I think of hockey, I think of Kiss. Don't you? I mean, this guy will sell anything. He's never going to run out of anything to sell. There's a doorknob. I'll sell that. Kiss doorknob. Yeah. Anyways, now that I said Kiss, I'm probably not going to have to play them. Here's one of the Kisser for you. Look it up. It's Alice Cooper, and today is Tuesday, June 28th. We're just a few days away from the beginning of July, and I'm coming to you from Brisbane, Australia tonight. Once again, I'll be out of the U.S. for 4th of July this year, which is really one of my favorite holidays. I am all-American. I love 4th of July. I do the barbecue. I invite all the kids over to go swimming. We go then to the place and watch all the, 5 different fireworks things. I'm very big on 4th of July. But I'll have to celebrate in my own way by wrapping myself in an American flag and lighting myself on fire. And only I will burn because the flag will not burn in my presence, okay? Or maybe I'll just eat some hot dogs and listen to the national anthem in 75 different languages. Okay. Anyway, I'll be checking my email in just a few minutes. I think we're going to be in Paris. How appropriate to be in Paris on 4th of July because they love Americans so much. We're just going to piss them off so much because I'm going to wear red, white, and blue all night, which is, by the way, their colors also. Okay, you can reach me at alicecoopernights@yahoo.com. But first, let's start off this hour with a song that you might recognize from a little band that I like to call Aerosmith. The Other Side.
Okay, email time. Great show. Listen to you at work. Someone tried to change the station, and it didn't go over too well. Good. I hope he chopped his hand off. I was kind of surprised to hear that you and Senator Goldwater both had street rods and raced each other. Who won? You know what? Funny, he had a pretty good little car, a little Barracuda. I was running right then. I was running a little Mustang, little fastback, 68 289 hypo. It was pretty close. He might have beat me. He had more horsepower than I did. I thought I heard you say that you were either friends or knew the late and great Frank Zappa. I've seen him 5 times. Great shows. Here's my question. Did you ever meet Captain Beefheart? And if you did, was he as off the wall as his music? Thanks. My email address is blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Captain Beefheart was always at Frank's house, and you could see him over there all the time. And, yeah, he wasn't that crazy. I mean, a lot of these guys, when you met Frank was not that crazy in person. He was pretty normal, funny guy, but very sort of focused on his music and had a very dry, cynical sense of humor. I was there one night when Mick Jagger came in with Marianne Faithfull, and they were drunk, and Frank threw them out of the house. And I was this little squirrel in the corner going, "You can't throw Mick Jagger out of your house." Frank Zappa he didn't care. He says, "Come back when you're sober." Wow. I said, that's great. Captain Beefheart was always around. And all the freaks, all the mothers were always around, always begging for money. The mothers were always around going, "Frank, can I get an advance? My girlfriend's in jail." And it was amazing to be right in the middle of the politics of the mothers of invention. It was great.
There is no Jethro Tull in the band. It's just a bunch of guys. They were born in the wrong century. They should have been with Robin Hood. A heavy metal band with Robin Hood. That would have been good. Well, if you've got a comment or question for me, or if you're wearing tights and dancing around playing a flute right now while listening to my radio show, send me an email at alicecoopernights@yahoo.com. More music trivia and, of course, more gay flute music. If he could just set his flute on fire or something, or if scorpions would come out of it. That's all I wanted. You're back with me, Alice Cooper, a man who once sat on a vibrating bed with Jimi Hendrix. First time I met Jimi Hendrix, we went to the hotel room, his band and my band, and he wanted to show us some home movies they made. And it was, Mitch Mitchell and Noel Redding, and, that was their first trip in America, and they were running all over, and they had these little home movies. And Jimmy looks at the bed, and he puts a quarter in the bed, and it's vibrating. Of course, Jimmy had already smoked a pound of hash or something. And we were a bunch of little rock guys sitting going, oh, it's Jimi Hendrix. And he's sitting on this bed going, hey, man, sit on this. And so I sat down on the bed next to him, and I went, maybe not. Maybe I won't sit on the bed with Jimi Hendrix because he's stoned and he's Jimi Hendrix. And I don't really know him that well to sit on a bed with him. Maybe he thought I was a really ugly groupie. I don't know. I didn't want to be taken advantage of. But that was my first experience with Jimi Hendrix. Well, I'm here in Brisbane, Australia tonight, which is somewhere on the east coast of the country near the Great Barrier Reef, which has nothing to do with reefers. It has much more to do with great whites. Big sharks here, big mama sharks. I'll tell you the shark story someday while I'm in Australia. But I did come here one time to shark fish, and it was one of the most nauseating things I've ever gone through. So let's get back to the music. Here's a song from Led Zeppelin that I think has something to do with rambling on. I'm not sure. It's called Ramble On. That was, of course, Hell's Bells by AC/DC. Do you ever think AC/DC ever gets sick of hearing their music on the radio? Every single night before I go on stage, the band's dressing room is right next door. And who are they playing? AC/DC. AC/DC. And I'm going, oh, did you guys ever get tired of these songs? Like, I don't hear these songs enough. And then Chuck pipes in and goes, old AC/DC, not new AC/DC. So apparently there's a difference. I've never been able to find that difference except a different hat on the lead singer. That would be the only difference. And the guy in the schoolboy outfit has got wrinkled knees now, where he used to have nice, smooth knees. And that's the only reason I liked him, was those knees. But if you have a dying wish for me, email me at alicecoopernights@yahoo.com. Cooper's Closet Classic. Well, it's once again time for my favorite segment of the show, Cooper Closet Classics. You people need to hear classic music that you haven't heard on the radio before. And nobody else is going to play. Certainly nobody else is going to play the Yardbirds.